Let me explain a little bit about the history of Belle Maer Harbor. The land on which we sit dates all the way back to the early 18th century when the King of France issued 3 land grants. Then in 1811, a patent deed was issued on the property, and that was signed by President James Madison and Secretary of State James Monroe. It was in September of 1960 that a company called Conger Bay Development Company was established, and that's when the property here was actually developed as a marina. The bridge went in very late 1960, early 1961. Up until that point, there was really no access. We were an island here. They built and named the property Blue Lagoon Marina. It was then in 1983 when Mark Howard, my partner, and I, we went and we were trying to purchase the property out of bankruptcy. And in the fall of 1983, we were assigned as the on-site managers to manage the property while the purchase was being negotiated in the bankruptcy court. It was not until May 1st, 1984 that we finally were able to close on the property because of the various problems with the bankruptcy. So it was actually May 1st, 1984 when the property was renamed Belle Maer Harbor. And it was actually my partner Mark that came up with the name. And what it is, it's a derivation of Belle Maer in French, which is beautiful seas. But the Maer is spelled differently. Mark came up with Maer as M-A-E-R, the M-A for Mark and the E-R for Eric. So it became Belle Maer Harbor from that point forward. We have since redeveloped it back in bankruptcy, the entire marina, and now we're at the end of our second renovation some 33 years later. So at this point we have the marina back in its beautiful condition with everything basically new again. When we purchased the marina, it was in very poor condition. They had electrical lines that actually were hanging above the wells. You'd walk underneath them to go onto the catwalks. There was a lot of the areas that had no seawall, so what had happened, you'd have a 50-foot dock that would go out, and you had 30 foot of usable dockage because basically the first 20 feet was land that had eroded away. So when we came in, we had a lot of fill to do, putting in the seawalls. We replaced and added buildings when we came in. There was only a very small cinder block building, which was the bathhouse. Nothing like what we have today with the 2 bathhouses that we installed.